Hey guys, I'm Jake. I've been transitioning for about 3 years, 2 years and 6 months on T though. I haven't had top surgery. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my transition story and how it all came about and why I kind of waited a little bit later. Um, so I first realized that one, that I was into females. I didn't like dating males. That was probably my junior year of high school. I graduated in 2012, so it was about 2010, 2011 was the last time I ever dated a man, and it was very awkward. I hated it. I hated in touching anything or them touching me. It gave me nightmares. But even before that, I kind of knew that I never was really a female, but I didn't have the words for it. Um, I used to have these dreams where I would actually be a male, and in my head, that's what I was, and so it was. It never really connected with me. I just thought it was dreams, and I do remember my dreams very well. Um, so not I'd had that from the time I was like 5 to now. Um, so Uh, and I was terrified of my family ever finding out, especially when Caitlyn Jenner came out and told her story, and my dad was watching the interview, and he was not very for it, but he didn't bash her. He never really cared. I also have a very gay grandfather. And my mom, when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore, freshman or sophomore, came into my room, even though I was dating someone at the time, and said, if you like girls, it's fine. We don't care. We'll always love you, type thing. And I was like, okay, that's one thing, but as I got older, especially my junior or senior year, I kind of started self-harming because I was so scared of what was going on with me and why I was this way. So I was just really terrified, and it really hit me when I was graduating and my family had bought me dresses. Um, Now I'd never really worn a dress before. I hadn't worn a dress since I was like 10, when my mom forced us into it. And it was awkward, and you have to sit in a dress. I've always sat with my legs kind of spread out. I've never had to cross my legs, how you would when you're wearing a dress. And I knew as soon as I got home, I tore that thing off, threw it in the trash, and I was like, I'm never wearing a dress again. And my mom's like, I'm surprised we were able to get you in a dress that long, anyways. Um, I've never really done the girly thing. I never wore makeup. I played softball from the time I was 4 to the time I was almost 19. I also played volleyball, basketball, did a little bit of cross country and track. So I was always really fit, and I did have abs. I was never really able to gain muscle in my arms. I was a pitcher. I tore my rotator cuff. So I do have shoulder issues. Never really had surgery. We couldn't afford it at the time, so I just did rehab and went back to playing. And went back to pitching, and I know I have mad arthritis in it. It feels better when I work it out, but um, after that, I went into work and I buried myself. I never really had friends. I didn't go out and do things. I hid in my room. Well, that's because I found this online world where I could be anybody I wanted, and I was able to be Jake, be who I wanted on the internet. Um, and I found someone that I hated lying to, and it took years for me to finally tell her, who I really was and what I was. And she supported me. We had been friends, really close friends, for a good 4 or 5 years before we had dated on and off, but we were always good friends. And you know, she's the one that told me, like, I don't care, you're always gonna be who you are. When I see your pictures, there's always a hurt and a just scared look in your eyes, and it made me feel a lot better. We didn't last, but that's because she lives in Canada, and she already had 3 kids. But she will always be one of the first people that I ever came out to, and she supported me, and I really appreciate that. And I wish we could talk like we used to, but I've grown. About 6 to 7 months after that, um, I had already told my current girlfriend, who was my best friend at the time. I told her, I was like, "There's gonna be some changes. I don't know, what's gonna happen," and she was really supportive of it. Then about 7 months later, we started dating. I moved in with her. Well, I originally moved in before we started dating, but then since we were spending so much time together, we started dating, and we've been together ever since. We got together officially July 22nd, 2017, 2 days before my birthday, and it's been a rough go because she can be religious, and she of course knew me before I transitioned, so she still calls me my birth name, which is considered a unisex name, and I don't really care. Um, I think about another 7 after that in 2018, March or April of 2018, I came out to my parents, and my grandfather helped me because he's the one that knew before them. My mom found my other Facebook, so she kind of knew. The one we were really worried about was my dad because he's very, very religious, and it can be really hard. We've never really had a good relationship, so it was hard for me to come out to him. And truth be told, my grandfather's the one that said it. That weekend was really rough. I think we spent about 2 weeks without going over there, and I got really pissed off because that weekend we went over there. Well, I had walked out because my dad was saying shit, and he cornered my girlfriend saying, "This is your fault. You're doing this. You're making it, making him feel, or making her feel like this, and and that really pissed me off. So that's why I stayed away." And I did a lot of research for him, and I told him, I was like, I am the thing I'm afraid of most is losing y'all, losing my family type thing. And I did research, and I told him, when your family supports you, it's less suicide rate than when your family just abandons you and kicks you out of the family. Then the suicide rate is way higher. And I think he finally understood. Um, so it's been about 2 years since I've come out to them. Um, yeah, I think it's almost been exactly 2 years now, and they've gotten a lot better. We've actually talked a little bit about my hormones, and especially my dad. He likes fitness, and I'm into fitness. Obviously, I'm a personal trainer, but he's gotten a lot better about me mentioning my hormones to him. He's saying, now that you are on your hormones, the medication you take, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to gain muscle, lose fat, and stuff like that. And so we've really been able to bond over those things, and it's been really great. My grandparents on my mom's side know. My mom on my mom's side really supportive. My dad's side is very, very religious. So, and they live up in Indiana, so we don't really talk to them much. And when we do, we don't really mention me or anything like that, and I'm okay with that. I was never really close with them. Um, but on to the next things. My jobs. I've actually been really grateful for a lot of my jobs. They've been really supportive. When I did lose a job, be it from being laid off, and trying to find another job, they were a lot of places just wouldn't work with my schedule. I only went to one place that when I mentioned being transgender, I really, really got a bad vibe, and I tried calling them, they never answered, or if they did answer, they hung up on me. Luckily, I got a job at 24 Hour Fitness with a very understanding general manager, and she's probably going to be one of my best general managers I've worked with. Um, so, going to school to be a personal trainer, that was difficult because I had to work out when I was going to school at a community college for just to learn a little bit more, a little more in depth on anatomy. It really helped me pass my certification. Um, it was tough because I was wearing binder, and we would practice measurements on each other. Um, I had to make up a lie because I'm wearing my binder in my chest, and they had to do uh, measurements on my chest. I was like, oh yeah, I've lost a lot of weight, so I have to wear this sort of binder to hold up the fat in my chest before I can get surgery type thing. And I hated lying to people because I wanted to try to make, good friends, because when you're a personal trainer, a lot of times it helps having other personal trainer friends so you can just bounce off ideas and stuff like that. And I don't really talk to anyone from there. We'd follow each other on Facebook, or no, on Instagram, but I don't, of course, don't follow them with my normal Instagrams. Um, so yeah, but I passed that, graduated. I actually graduated with a near perfect grade point average for that class, or for that certificate, and it really helped me push towards getting my certification for NASM, which is the best one that you can get. It's also the most expensive. I did fail the test twice, but So in all reality, that's my transition story. I started T November 6, 2017. Um, this next November will be my 3 years, and it's been crazy. You can't see it right now because I shaved, but I usually have a face full of hair. The only parts that doesn't really grow is right here. Um, my hair has receded here a little bit, but I've been using some hair growth, so hopefully it'll, not bald. I don't have really any baldness in my family. They've all died with heads full of hair, even the ones that were over 90 years old. So, yeah. Um, I did want to tell you a little bit more about Trans and Unified. I'm the creator. I made it exactly a year ago and like 2 weeks now. Um, I created it because I wanted to be a part of the community a little bit more and support everyone as much as I can. I eventually want to turn it into a nonprofit so I can start helping people with their top surgeries, bottom surgeries, hormones, and homelessness, because a lot of younger and older transgenders and non-binary don't have resources to help them eat every day, or have rent for the next month. Um, it's really hard for them, and I want to be able to help them. So that's kind of why we are doing, YouTube and getting our message out a little bit more. But yeah, so that was my transition story. Normally we want it between 15 and 17 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes. Um, Mine's not as long as a lot of people's, and mine has been pretty simple and pretty easy, and I haven't really faced a lot of criticism in the 3 years that I've been transitioning. The first year is socially transitioning, and the last 2 years and 6 months medical transitioning. Um, so yeah. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can always message me on Trans and Unified, or you can follow me on my personal account, SirLycan13. I'll put everything down in the comments below. If you're interested in making a video with us to share your transition story, please, please, please message us, and I will send you to the right person to help you out. I will see you guys later, and expect very many more videos to come. I'll see you guys later. Peace.